Some time ago, someone asked me if I'd ever written a rant. At the time, I gave it some thought. But apart from being slightly annoyed by people trying to tell me what to write, the only thing I came up with was the common misuse of the simple words to, T-O, and to, T-O-O. Easy, you may think. But then why do so many supposedly educated people still manage to get it wrong? To me, T-O. That was just to, T-O-O. Much. Anyway, these days, as the grumpy old git syndrome is beginning to kick in, I've noticed a number of other things that many people may consider trifling that are increasingly beginning to appear on my grumpy radar. The latest is the ongoing TV advertising campaign by Barclays Bank. At this point, I do have to declare an interest, as I am a shareholder. But do they honestly believe that bouncy castles, golden balloons, bows and arrows, little dogs, bad jokes about cardigans and shoes, and a totally patronising and intelligence-insulting spiel will lure customers into their dens of iniquity? Many have complained about their income and bonuses, and they do have a point. But to me, this is much worse. Bob Diamond, take note. Another thing are the man in the street interviews. Both TV and the local press seem obsessed by the views of, shall we say for argument's sake, common folk. They employ in many cases highly educated, informed journalists who rub shoulders with the high and mighty and regularly converse with the decision makers who control the world of politics and finance. Yet, after a brief conversation or a couple of paragraphs of informed and intelligent views, they can't help themselves but go to a high street in somewhere like Stockport or Luton and ask passers-by their opinions. Who on earth is interested in Doris Jones's view on the future of the euro? She's only popped to the shops to buy Tiddles, a can of whiskers. Or Bill Stokes, 68 of High Wycombe, who after purchasing a packet of boiled-in-the-bag kippers for his breakfast and collecting his wife's repeat prescription, becomes a spokesman on the future of the Labour Party. Please, just give us the facts. We can make up our own minds. The Portsmouth News is a major exponent of this nonsense, and also the constant recycling of news of Portsmouth Football Club, where a single interview with a player will supply quotes for the next 6 months. They obviously struggle to fill their pages. And this was clearly shown a while back by the large picture on the back page of the black Welsh striker Robert Earnshaw, only to inform us he was not coming to Fratton Park. I could think of quite a few others who wouldn't be making that journey. But for me, this was the last straw, and I haven't purchased it since. Talking of local press, I, like many other of us open micers, got a mention in the Petersfield Post/Herald last month. But my clumsy use of the literary figure Dr. Samuel Johnson was somewhat distorted by him becoming Ben Johnson, who I believe was a disgraced Canadian sprinter. Or was he the shipwrecked character in Treasure Island who had a fixation about cheese? This was, I must admit, not the first time that it happened. I once did a monologue called The Diary of a Slightly Confused Repetitious Non-Poet, which became the diary of a confused repetitious poet. The next month I was tempted to do a piece called Shock, Local Press and Another Cock-Up. But I decided against this, as it would probably have ended up as Shocked Local Presses Another Cock-Up. Don't get me wrong, we all like a bit of publicity, and at least it can give us some ammunition. Now pedal bins. They may be a clever device when they work, but often found in hotel bathrooms are those little ones, probably only big enough for the wrapping on the little piece of round soap so generously provided. But placing your foot on the pedal has the whole bin flying across the room. They are totally useless and very annoying. But not quite as annoying as my other half, who always insists on making the bed and washing up the teacups before we vacate the room. This is a debate that I don't wish to go into again, but just to say it has led to many a strange silence on our journey home. There are many others I could mention, like 98% of children, that's anyone under the age of 25. It would have been 100%, but some of you have children, are children, or have grandchildren. Then there's John Terry, Danny Baker, Mary Klein, any dog act, and especially those with a book deal, Slow Golfers, and John Cleese, whose 3 rules of comedy are no puns, no puns, no puns. A bit rich for a man who's best known for his silly walk. And finally, anyone who decides to put you on first at an open mic show. At this point, I've probably picked on most of you. And those I've missed, don't worry, there's always next month.